back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be making Greek lemon rice. But before we get into the video, make sure to give this video a nice thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the little bell so you don't miss another one of my videos. Alright, let's get started. Okay, so I like to put lemon on literally any and everything. Love it. I love it on vegetables. I love it on obviously rice. I love it water, whatever I can put lemon on, I put lemon on. So it's no surprise that I'm going to be making a Greek lemon rice for you guys today. So, I mean, it's rice. This is going to be perfect on the side of chicken, maybe souvlaki, maybe a gyro, whatever. It's rice. It's just going to give you that added freshness and that little tang compared to just normal plain rice with salt and pepper. So typically I've been making my rice just in a rice cooker. Like I tell you guys, just set it, forget it, put it in there, and I work on other things. But this one's going to be a little bit different. Now it's just going to take the same amount of time as like a normal rice, like maybe like a half hour or so, but it's definitely worth it. So for this recipe, all you're going to need is a saucepan, a bowl of whatever you guys want to use. A bowl, a pan, I don't know, whatever you guys want to use. And then you're just going to have some chicken broth. Now you got to make sure that this is hot. You're going to use a long grain rice. If you're using a short grain rice, you're just going to want to use a little bit more of it. So I have a cup here. If you're using a short grain, you're going to want to use like a cup and a half. Of course, our lemon juice, and you can use as much or as less as you want. I'm going on the heavier side. A little bit of salt and some olive oil. So now I'm just going to take you guys over to the stove and we're going to get started on our rice. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is grab a pot or a pan, whatever it is that you have. Just make sure it's one that has a lid. And you're going to want to heat that on medium heat. And then we're going to add in our oil and let that kind of heat up for about a minute or so. So I'm just going to add in the oil. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of quickly go over what we're going to be doing here before I do it, just so you have like an overview, because I am going to be switching the view so you can see exactly what I'm doing in my pot over here. So all we're going to do is we're going to heat up this oil for about a minute or so, then we're going to saute our rice in there uncooked for about 2 to 3 minutes, and just make sure you're stirring it around a little bit just so it doesn't get too browned. Then we're going to be adding in our salt, our lemon juice, and doing the same thing, just letting that kind of stir around a little bit. And then we're going to slowly add in our chicken broth and slowly add that just until it starts to boil. And then we're going to, see it's starting to pop. Then we're going to cover our rice with the lid like you would any other kind of rice, and we're going to let that cook for about a half hour until all of the liquids are absorbed into the rice. Now, if all of the liquids have been absorbed after the 30 minutes, you're just going to take that off the heat and take the lid off and just kind of let that sit for a couple minutes. If you still have some liquid at the bottom of your pan, you're just going to continue cooking for about 5 minutes or so with the lid off. So let's get started. Okay guys, so you can see our oil is in here and it's heated up a bit. So I'm just going to add in our rice. It's starting to sizzle. So you're just going to be sauteing this for a couple minutes on this medium heat. Just make sure to stir around a little bit so it doesn't get too browned. Alright guys, so it's been about 2.5 minutes. Our rice is browned a little bit. And now it's time to add in the lemon juice. And then we're going to add in our salt. A little bit, nothing too crazy. And we're just going to saute this again just for about a minute or so. So let's put on our timer. This is already smelling so good. Now this is definitely a little bit of a different step here, because I'm sure you don't usually saute your rice before you cook it typically. So it's going to give us definitely a little bit of a different flavor and texture here by doing that. Can definitely see that the lemon juice has absorbed in the rice a bit, because you don't see any liquid at the bottom, and the rice is definitely getting a little bit fatter. Alright, so now what we're going to do is add in our chicken broth, just slowly. Slowly, so it doesn't spit back on you all over the place. So you're just gonna stir this in. Just make sure that the chicken broth is hot before you put it in. So if you're using chicken broth, you know, from the store that's already pre-made in the little carton, just make sure you heat that up on the stove or in the microwave or something. And then obviously if you're making it from a chicken base on the stove, it's gonna be hot already. So added in all of our chicken broth. Now we're just going to let this sit for a bit just until it gets to a boil. And then once it starts to boil, we're just going to put the lid on and then let that sit on low heat. You're going to switch this down to low heat and let that just kind of cook and simmer in there for about a half hour. So much flavor in this rice, you guys, and it's so simple and easy to make. Even just adding the lemon or adding the chicken broth instead of water and just salt and pepper totally changes it up. It's so good. All right, you guys, so we're boiling. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the lid right on the pan and lower this to the lowest heat setting that you have. And we're going to set a timer for 30 minutes. Don't mind my little setup here. We're going to set our timer for 30 minutes and don't touch this. So don't open the lid, don't stir anything, just let it do its thing in here. Just let it simmer inside the pot until it's completely done. Now, like I said, if you still have some liquid in the pot or pan after the 30 minutes, once you kind of stir it around a little bit, then just let that cook for an additional 5 minutes with the lid off. If not, you're just going to take this all off the heat and just let that sit for a little bit. Now, I do have to say this recipe works really well if you make it the night before as well, if you want to just kind of prep for the next day, because it just gives the rice that extra time to absorb any of the liquids and get nice and fluffy. And if you just reheat it the next day, I promise you it's really good. So I will see you guys in about 30 minutes and then we're going to check up on our rice. Okay, so it's time to check on our rice. So let's see what we've got here. Okay, so let's take off our lid, see what we've got. Ooh, this smells so good. And look at that. See how there's not really any liquid or anything? So this is perfect. I'm just gonna fluff this up a bit. Okay, so this is looking really good. There's no liquid left at the bottom. It smells delicious. So all we're gonna do now is just take this off of the heat, and then we're just gonna let this kind of sit for about 10 minutes or so, and then we're gonna try some. Okay guys, so we're all done, and we've let the rice sit for about 10 minutes. Smells so good. You should have something that looks like this. Don't worry, I have more on the stove. But I can't wait to try this. So if you guys are making this rice, I know you're gonna ask me how long is it gonna last, and I always tell you it's not gonna last because you guys are totally gonna devour this. But for food safety purposes, this is gonna last in the fridge covered for about 5 days. Now, when you do want to reheat this, if you find that it is a little bit dry or anything like that, all you're gonna want to do is go right ahead, and you can use water, but I like to use that chicken broth if you still have some, and just add that to your rice and just heat it back up and just give it some life. But I can't wait to try this. All right, here we go. So good, you guys. I love rice. I love lemon. I love anything with lemon or rice or potatoes. Don't forget the potatoes. But this is so good. It's so simple and easy to make. You're just going to make a couple little tweaks compared to normal rice, and it totally is a game changer. Definitely amps this up a little bit and gives it a unique, just different citrusy flavor. It's nothing that's too much. This doesn't taste like a big fork of lemons if anybody is like not really into citrus or has a problem with acid reflux or something like that. It's so good. So because the flavors aren't overwhelming and you're getting that nice flavor from the chicken broth, this is perfect paired with literally anything. Any chicken dish, any beef dish, any anything, any veggies. It's so, so good. I can't wait for you guys to try this one at home. Definitely let me know what you think in the comment section below, but that's all I have for this video today, you guys. I hope you liked it and I hope you learned something new. If you did like it, make sure to give this video a nice thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the little bell so you don't miss out on my videos. And as always, if you want to get my exclusive nutrition tips, healthy food recommendations, and delicious recipes, just like this one, then make sure to head over to my description box. My description box. Click the link and join the fam. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.